All right, all right. Yo. Let's do this thing. Memorial Day weekend. So many shows going on this weekend. It's been like, what, 3, 4 different wrestling shows, depending if y'all watched them or not. But we are back with another review. Yesterday or Saturday, got a Night of Champions review out right now. Go check that out with me and Straight Face 40. But today, we are here for the Double or Nothing review. Las Vegas, Nevada, May the 28th. 10 matches, I believe. So, yeah, we got a lot going on here today. But first off, let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Black Shaggy in the building. You just mentioned all the shows we saw this weekend. Under Siege is probably my favorite one, and that's what I'm going to say about that.
All right, yep, straight face 40 back in the building. Well, I that's the only show I didn't get to see. That's the only show I didn't get to see all weekend. Everything else I did get to see.
It was
It's not
pretty
a
good.
priority show, but I've enjoyed it more than I enjoyed anything else for real.
I could believe you enjoying an Impact show. I definitely can believe you. I just wish everybody else could believe you.
Agreed. I definitely agreed. But Under Siege was a pretty good show, though. If you get a chance, go back and check it out, though. But yes, Double or Nothing, folks. Let's kick it right off the bat. Did anybody watch the pre-show before I go on?
Yes,
The only
I
thing I
did.
saw from
I
the
did.
pre-show was the Owen Hart segment, which was hilarious.
Nah, I I get to that, but I did get to see it. This was my first time watching one of their 0 hours show. I just I was surprised because it was Jeff Hardy, but I understood. It was like it was one of those situations like you would be surprised that you would have this big marquee name that just came back to your company on a pre-show, but I understood because that was the only that was the only match that you could really throw on the pre-show that didn't really have no real story behind it. So yeah, I understood it. But it was a decent little 6 man, your usual typical AEW 6 man tag match, ball to the walls, everything going crazy. Jeff must have jumped off the top rope like 5,000 times. He just couldn't wait to get on that top rope. You could tell. Man, it was decent.
It was the first time Jeff Hardy has wrestled, and they said in over 11 months. So Jeff Hardy's been out for a while, since that incident and all
I
that.
heard he
But
was looking kind of rough out there.
And don't
uh,
get me wrong. It was pretty rough. Don't get me wrong. I will get it through it. But I understood the roughness. Like going back to the
man,
what I was saying about Knights of Champions and Trish. I
rusty.
could understand the rustiness if you've been out for a minute. He been out for almost a year. You know,
Yeah.
and
And listen, I know usually how Jeff Hardy matches goes if it's a car crash or whatnot, because I know that whole whisper in the wind spot people brought up of him falling. I was like, he's done that before, so it's probably selling at the same time. But that did look pretty brutal and whatnot. And this match ate up a lot of time. The Hardys, Hook, Ethan Page, and the Gun Club. I'm surprised they didn't pay for more licensed music for the Gun Club again after what happened last time. But
These
this
niggas disappeared after that match. After they
they,
lost to FTR.
they really did. They gave them a whole big entrance and had them come out to 50 Cent Mini Men, and then they lost it. Then they were just kind of off TV for a while.
where they
Which
go, they go just be just like that after this. Real talk, because unless they continue with the story, Ethan Page try to get out his contract, you know, uh, to get off his contract, I don't think it should go on, but I don't think they'll be on TV. If they are, they gonna be on Rampage.
It's funny
Well,
because I don't watch Rampage, and yet, so I haven't seen any of this story. But at the same time, every time I hear it mentioned, it feels like this story been going on for so long, bro.
Yeah,
With
It
this
it have.
contract
It
shit.
have.
it
It
has.
have.
I
And
only
I'm
saw the
telling
deletion match.
you, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't, want to, like, I wouldn't want to continue that storyline, but it sounds like a storyline for heels now. Like, would the babyface want to get out his contract?
Um, yeah, that's a good point because now the faces control the heel contract.
I guess it depends on what they do with them with the contract. Like they could just be cool and be like, "Look, bro, like we trying to be cool. We got your contract, but we not about to be like you. We ain't gonna be a dick about it." So, I guess it just depends.
Yeah, and then I know they had Isaiah Cassidy with the neck brace out there, and it was just kind of like, didn't I just see you guys do some deletion match like literally about a couple weeks ago? I said I thought that was gonna end the whole thing, but no, they're still continuing this. Like this feud is it's still going for some reason. Like I don't even get that.
I guess I can't complain about it because, like I said, I haven't seen any of it. But
So like it is what it is. The Hardys won. Hook hit the red rum on Ethan Page. So the match was, it ate up time. It was the pre-show. That's all I really got to say about it.
he tapped out Ethan Page
Yeah.
with the guns
Hmm.
right there.
And they don't know what to do with Ethan Page. They never did. They never did, bro. They got they got several guys at the company. They never know what to do with them. And Ethan Page one of them. So yeah, I could believe that.
Well,
And
we about to get to that
I
when we get
saw
to this
it.
battle
You know what I'm
royal.
saying? I saw it. Right there. I'm like, huh? Well, okay. You know, I was
So
surprised to see they didn't give it to Jeff. You know,
yeah, they
they
gave it
did
the
get. They gave it a hook. But don't get me wrong, I did like that because I get to hear Action Bronson. So I was like, all right, cool, give it the hook.
even I look at Hook sometime. Like, remember when he was like really popular?
Man,
No,
look,
we
we can
already we
go.
already did that bit, bro, with the
Yeah,
perpetual bag fumbler Tony Khan. We already did that bit.
Because even people tell me, at one point I was hearing the argument, who will surpass first, Dominic or Hook? I'm like,
yeah,
shit.
it was the question. That was a good. That was the question at that time. Remember, Dominic was still with Mysterio, with Ray. They was still. I think they was like tag team champions. And Hook was just, becoming a white hot baby face. Going through the squash matches, but they completely fumbled that. So yeah,
Yeah, look who's hotter now. But after that, they did have Renee Young out there with Dr. Martha Hart to announce that the On Heart Cup tournament is coming back really soon. And they had the titles and the trophies out there again. And then they brought out Gangster Tony for some reason.
Well, first and
Which
foremost, like before we even get into all that, like I appreciate what all of this is and is supposed to be, but having Martha just come out there and talk for like 5 minutes is not the move, bro.
it's
Like,
not.
she
It's
didn't
not.
really say
It,
much.
but
and she
what?
said too much,
But
honestly.
there we go. Here's the thing. I felt the same awkwardness when I was watching that, and I was like,
Hella
oh
awkward.
man. Please, somebody just take the mic away from Renee. Renee just, you could tell that she was just trying to fade away to the background, let Martha Hart do her thing. I'm like, no, no, please, like, don't even let her talk like too much about this. Like, just
This
say,
year
all right,
we're going to get a little more gangster.
Like, yeah, I told everybody to dress well. So, yeah, let's get more gangster now.
I said, nah, this ain't it, bro. And then Tony Khan came out. I said, what the hell is this segment, bro?
that's
Him
gonna
and
be
his
one of the
hat.
worst segments. I promise you, that's probably gonna be the one of the worst segments of this year. Once we get to the end of the year, and everybody gonna remember how bad that segment was.
Gangster Toni, Tony Montana, man, Tony Montana. He's the supplier, so probably.
Hey, yo, for real, Tony kind of saved the segment for me though, because before he came out, I was like, this is just so awkward and bad.
Bad.
Like, what are we doing? And then Tony came out, and I just started dying laughing. So,
it's like, what am I watching here? Renee Young's trying to be excited about it, and I'm like, what is this? Like, it was just going all over the place. I'm like, in this segment, let's just move on to the next thing already. So, like, that was just that was weird. They that shouldn't have went on that long, but.
Hello?
This show, Royality, Blackjack Battle Royale for the AEW International Title with several people in this match from Dustin Rhodes, Keith Lee, Bullet Club Gold of Jay White and Juice Robinson, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Swerve, Pentagon and Phoenix, Kip Sabian, the Butcher, the Baker, there's no Candlestick Maker, what else? Lee Moriarty, Big Bill, Bandito, Commander.
I mean, you don't have to name every nigga that was in here, bro.
Okay, I'm just naming this because I want to make fun of some of these names at the same time. Like, Days of Future Past, Keith Lee. I just like making fun of some of these names. But yeah, this Battle Royale. What do I have to really say about it? Like 50% of these people were like job anyways that my money was on either Swerve or Jay White to win. Like, I was just naming people. I don't really care, honestly. Like, this whole international title thing, I know they're building up the whole Cassidy winning streak. I just think it's a running gag to me at this point. It's just like, I'm like, God damn, like, they pushed this guy like he's damn near fucking Roman Reigns sometime with this winning streak. And I think fans are starting to notice because he wasn't really over last Wednesday. And I don't know if that's just the crowd, but maybe, like, Tony's just doing his best to push Cassidy, like, to the fullest. Even if you don't like him, he's going to push him so hard that we almost have to admit, they're going to have people admit, like, okay, we'll admit he's finally good. That's how I feel about it. And it is just gone to even, I wonder, like, man, like, they are running with this thing. And I don't even halfway pay attention to these matches. I only watch depending who the opponent is. And even I wonder, like, how long they going to keep this up? Because it is to the point with me where it's like, it's a running gag. But this is Tony's boy, though. This is his boy. So it is what it is. The rest of everybody else in this Battle Royale, there was a couple good spots here and there. But I'm not surprised who won and who retained. But I almost had it with Swerve. So what y'all think?
I think you're letting your hate for Orange Cassidy cloud what's going on here.
That's more logic than hate, but okay.
I mean, you want to talk logic? They're very clearly building this up so he can lose to somebody on Collision, right? And I think it's going to be Miro. Like, after, like, they're building him up to be not unbeatable, but that he just keeps surviving all his matches. And so when he finally gets to that one match, which will probably be on the debut of Collision, probably against Miro, he's finally going to lose it. You know, like, it's not just Tony's just pushing the guy because he likes the guy. Like, nah, bro. There's a story being told here, and you can see how it's going because he didn't even like dominantly win this battle royal either. Like, he barely got out of there with Swerve, and now I think we're just going to get to Collision, and he's going to lose it to Miro because that just seems where they're going with it.
I'm right in the middle of this. I'm right in the middle. After hearing your side, Steven, I definitely agree. But I'm right there with with Bray too. So I'm definitely in the middle. I can see both sides. I just feel like this with Cassidy. Here's the thing. The gimmick is so, it's just so laughable to the point that you couldn't even see this guy is a decent worker. You know what I'm saying? So everybody will see it. That's how I am when I see him. I know something silly gonna break out with some some type of goof spot that I'm not gonna like, and I'm gonna end up turning it off for the match. No matter if I see this man just do a whole flip with his hands in his pocket onto the floor with no problem. I can see that, but I just saw this man just kick this man in the calves about 3 times, and I know what he did nothing to him. And it's like you kind of it's a balance with him that they need to solve. That's one, and I think they were trying to solve it. I think y'all could remember the feud with Chris Jericho, and they were trying to solve it, but by that time it was like, nah, that's a man with the hands in his pocket. People ain't gonna really take him serious, and I don't know what Orange Cassidy. But if it that what's going to happen is, what Stephen said with Miro, please, let it go ahead and happen. He can go ahead, have fun, his matches on Dynamite. You can have him number one coming into the first match all the time at Dynamite, whatever you want to do. You know, I feel like it should be a new champion. But I said that to you the other time we were talking, bro. He said they try to use his injury to the point that they was like, oh, by the time he gets to Miro, it's like, oh, he could overcome his injury too much longer. He could have overcome all the people coming at him.
Yeah, if you remember, they told the same story with Darby Allin in his last TNT Championship run, where Sting was telling him, he's like, "Bro, you defending this every week, you going crazy, you going to wear yourself out." And then, ironically, he finally met Miro, who was the one who was like, "Nah, I'm about to kill this dude," and that's exactly what happened. But my main problem with the Battle Royal isn't even Orange Cassidy. My main problem with it was who was in it, because
Hmm.
Yep.
we, what, 6 months ago started a feud with Swerve and Keith Lee, and we still haven't gotten a one-on-one match between them. But then you just throw them in this battle royal. We just started this feud with Ricky Starks and Jay White, but instead of
Hmm.
doing a one-on-one between them on this show, you do it on Dynamite, have it be a bullshit finish, and then throw them in the battle royal. So that
Hmm.
that shit bothered me more than anything. Orange Cassidy, I was like, what? Why are these people in this battle royal when this is supposed to be like? You want to talk about pre-show matches? You could have easily put a Keith Lee Swerve on the pre-show, finally blow that off, get that out the way, and go on and do something else with them. But it just feels like we got all this unresolved shit going on because I don't know. We just don't want to do this match, but we still want to do this match because they were fighting in the match. Brian Cage eliminated Keith Lee, so it's like we want to do it, but we don't really want to do it. So what the hell are we doing here with these people?
Yeah, because
No,
that's a good question.
how I felt about all of these matches, where we run through them. How I felt about this whole show was they were trying the ticket sales kind of affected this show to me, because I think by them trying to sell so many tickets by giving you so many gimmick matches, it was a hella gimmick matches in this show. So they wanted to give you one extra gimmick match, and that was the battle royal. You know what I'm saying? So we got the battle royal. We had a lot of matches. We had an Anarchy, an arena match. Uh, non-sanction match. It was so many of them tonight. So I think that's really affected the way they was booking the match. If it was selling out from the beginning, I don't think they would have even. I don't think they would have, did the battle royal too much. I think they would have probably gave or Cassidy uh, uh, um, a one-on-one match with somebody.
That's something that
True.
Bryce was saying before that they had way too many gimmick matches on this pay-per-view. And when me and Bryce were talking about it, I was like, yeah, you got to find a way to differentiate that unsanctioned match with Anarchy in the Arena, because we're about to just see, and we just had a Falls Count Anywhere match last week. It's just like,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
and see
we know it's no rules are.
what they trying to do ECW. You know,
A lot of
like
stipulations on here.
Sabu was
And
here.
I mean, a lot of them. Yeah, because we're going to get to that next now. Because let's got to move on from the battle royale from here to the unsanctioned match, folks. The unsanctioned match. Chris Jericho versus Adam Cole.
Baby.
Sabu was the special enforcer.
here's the thing.
Family.
Hello?
Watch him get killed, right?
Oh,
Hello,
Bryce,
Oh,
you
my
glitching
bad.
out,
you
bro.
good?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
glitching
that's
out.
what happened.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
All
was
right,
that's
talking
what.
hello.
and then it just cut.
Okay, hello. You hear me now?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, but what was the last thing you heard? What I said?
You
You
just
introduced
introduced the
the match.
match.
Oh yeah. Okay, Chris Jericho, not Sabu. Chris Jericho, Adam Cole, unsanctioned match. Sabu, the special enforcer, for this match. Obviously, there's several people involved in this. I kind of found it funny. Chris Jericho had his entire family out there to watch. I guess they're there to watch him get killed. This match here was, me and Steven talked about this. It was heatless, that the crowd was very dead throughout a lot of this match. And listen, I like Sabu, I like ECW, but
But it didn't
if
make
still,
sense.
it made
It
no
did.
sense for him to be involved in this at all. Because they said he was in this because he lives in Vegas. So, you know, that's one thing. But I'm like, what does Sabu have to do with any of all this? It's cool to see him again. Like, I had no problem with that. But I kind of sat there like, what is he really here for? Just to throw some chairs at people's heads? Because I didn't even
He
think
didn't
he was
even
going
really
to.
do that.
Yeah, he swung a chair a couple times, threw it at Jericho's head. I'm surprised he did a dive, honestly. Like, I didn't think he'd be jumping off nothing. I know Sabu has had some health problems. Even I think a month beforehand, I think he ended up going to the hospital not that long ago from a fan convention and whatnot. Because I know he had health problems recently, and I know his wife died and all that. So I didn't think he'd really be doing anything in all of this. So he was there. Here's the thing with this unsanctioned match. You literally saw all these guys brawl against each other for probably like what, 5 minutes or two, and then they all disappear. Like when Sabu did that dive off the top rope onto the table, everybody just ended up fighting and they fought off. They fought off. We didn't see him again. And the rest of this unsanctioned match, I felt like the crowd only reacted to the big spots that happened in there. And
If that, honestly.
because it took the, like, even with the fire extinguisher and all that, and then Paige is out there, and then Britt Baker comes out there and chases her away, and I'm looking at this match like they're brawling out there, they're trying to use all these weapons, but the crowd's not even into it. And then the weird thing, we get near the end, Cole is just hitting them with a chain and all that, and Jericho's eye, I guess, is pretty bloody. And then the referee stops it. So Donald Stevens there stops the match. Let me get this straight. It's an unsanctioned match, right? There's no rules. There's anything goes, but there's a ref stoppage in an unsanctioned match. And the crowd wasn't already into this anyways, but you saw how it was literally not that much reaction from it. And it was such a weird finish within doing it. So I'm like, that's it. That was the unsanctioned match. Ref stoppage.
I
And
think
JR tried his best to explain it.
I think this is like up there with the fake explosion. Real talk. This is just as bad of an ending just as with the fake death match when Moxley and Kenny Omega. That was bad. That was a bad ending. I did understand it. Like Moxley played up a storm and nobody stopped his matching. Now I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's like comparable to the Seth Rollins Fiend Hell in a Cell match, right? Where
I
it's like
mean, just that bad of an ending.
it's just
Yeah.
this brutal, violent match, and then it's
Huh?
too violent. So we gotta stop it.
Yeah, it was like what do you think? We just told people, we gave people an idea that how violent this match is going to be. Oh, it's unsanctioned. AEW it's not responsible for any of these guys what they do to each other. Oh man, this gonna be a brutal match. Yeah, hey, they're gonna beat the hell out of each other. That's what you think, and then you get that ending, you like, huh? I like, wait a second. You just sold me a match that, like, oh man, this is gonna hurt. Man, if you think ticket sales is gonna hurt now,
Yeah, I had three major problems with this match. First of all, like you already said, the crowd was trash. I don't know what. Like this is one of those matches that was actually built for me really well. Like they did a good job of establishing you want to see Adam Cole kick this dude's head in, and then when we got to the match, the crowd just didn't give a shit. So I don't really know what was up with that. So that's one thing, but that's not even my biggest problem. The biggest problem for me is kind of like what Kyle just touched on is we in AEW see violent, vicious stuff like every other week. We get fucking Anna Jay and shit doing hardcore matches on Rampage and shit. And so you're
right?
selling me on this idea that an unsanctioned match, oh my gosh, they can do whatever they want to each other. And this match was so tame, bro. Like think of the lights out matches we had with Moxley and Ricky Starks and all the stuff we've seen in the past. And like y'all trying to sell me on this unsanctioned match where they're kind of just like doing typical what we'd see hardcore shit. And it's like this even on this same show in the main event, y'all trying to sell me on an unsanctioned match, talking about how violent an unsanctioned match can be. Meanwhile, in the main event, we got some crazy shit happening on the same show. It's like, yeah, that in and of itself made this match suffer big time for me. I already wasn't feeling it because the crowd was dead. Then on top of that, nothing in this match was at all at the level you thought it would be with how they built this match. And then third, the finish was garbage. So just write this one off, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were bad. They was bad.
I didn't like it. I didn't really like it, and Sabu
So
didn't even really mean much going into this. Also, it's just like Sabu was just there, just to be there. It's like, hey, here's Sabu. Everybody, people like Sabu, so
I can't
Nigga
even
fell through a
blame
table. That's
Jericho
all he
for
did, bro.
I can't even blame Jericho for this feud. Real talk, this feud wasn't good for the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just really could not blame. This time I can't blame Jericho. It take two to tangle. Both of them, it was not at their A game. Adam Cole return has been crappy to me, very very crappy. And it's like I don't know what to say. It's like I feel bad for Adam because that could have his return could have led him up to being one of the hottest baby faces. That type of sympathetic return. He just came back from concussion. How bad the concussions was. You could have felt sorry for him and you wanted him to go achieve more and come back. But now you look at the last this is second pay per view match since coming back, and it's just really not good. It's just not.
I honestly feel the opposite though, because I feel like everything they've done in this feud before this match has been well. Maybe I didn't really like the contract signing either, but everything before that, I mean, I thought the stuff they when they first interacted with each other was good. Then the angle where Jericho sicked Saray and them on Britt was good. Then the Falls Count Anywhere match was good. It was just like this week where they did the contract signing and then this match where I was like, nah, this feud, I don't know what happened the last week, but I'm feeling it, bro.
it was weird.
Uh,
What was weird to me about it also is like Cole act like he was calling for backup. I was like, you still outnumbered, right? Like Jericho still got like 5 guys on his team. You just
Nah, that
brought in
old Sabu's the difference maker, bro.
Sabu, man, who's like
right,
50
right.
something years old right now, but I guess he can throw chairs at people's head, and he is homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. So this is Sabu. So he points at the sky, so it's gonna be some crazy stuff. He jumps off of chairs, so I'm like, well, he does throw chairs at people's heads, so that means something. Because I'm like, I'd like, dude, if you bring in Sabu, we might as well bring in Bill Alfonso. I would say RVD, but I'm sure he's under a Legends contract with WWE right now, so they couldn't get him. Or I don't know. They could have just started pulling anybody from ECW then if we're gonna go that far. Hey, Taz is sitting out there. What's he doing other than commentary?
RVD would have been actually made way more sense because at least we've seen on TV him and Jericho feud, and it makes more sense that Adam Cole would say, "I've idolized this guy when I was growing up." Adam Cole ain't idolized Sabu. Stop.
Right,
Stop.
right. Stop
That's
it.
kind of
Stop
weird.
it.
That's a whole different style of
I
his
don't.
wrestling.
I never really read up on a guy who ever said that they idolized Sabu. I never heard it before. And I just tell you to stop it right now. Cause I just start asking you what you idolize? All the bosses that he did. 'Cause I don't know what you
Sabu botched a lot, and I mean a lot.
right. Well, you want to learn how to slip off a top rope. You know, I swear, like what you idolize here. Nah,
Like,
RVD, and I even idolized RVD. You know what I'm saying? So it was like that's a believable thing because RVD is, I'm pretty sure it's on top of everybody's list. They top 5 or
oh
probably
yeah,
top 10. You
he
know what I'm
definitely in
saying?
mine.
So
Yeah,
they're
he's
right.
like I agree because at least even RVD would have did a little bit more out there. Like Sabu did like what 2 spots, and that was kind of it. And then we never saw everybody. Everybody just kind of disappeared. Like he disappeared, Roddy disappered, and Hager and Everrise guys, and
But
Garcia
so
disappeared.
that brings up a question right now that I want to ask. So, what if it was an unsanctioned match? I got all 4 of my guys with me. So, what stopping all 4 of my guys from not, coming back and being the best out of 2, 3 niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping them from doing it?
Sabu.
Sabu,
Sabu, Sabu is the equivalent to a gun, I guess.
he can point at the
Sabu, we're
sky.
4 niggas, bro.
He can point at the sky. He can throw
Hey,
it.
this shit was trash, bro.
This was
It was
bad.
it was very bad.
I
But
wasn't
it's
digging
going to
this.
continue. It's going to continue though.
Yes, the next match though, the AEW Tag Team titles on the line and a special guest referee match. FTR versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Mark Briscoe, the special guest referee. Wow. Honestly, throughout this match until they got into which I called it TNA booking, and it was a lot of TNA overbooking when it got towards the end because
My
I don't want
goodness.
I don't want to say I hated this all the way, but it was starting to kind of drag because this match was 20 minutes, by the way. I just want to say that this was a 20-minute match, and
Which it didn't need to be.
even I don't think it should have went that long. And then of course once the ref bump happened, overbooking, and I'm like, some would say this was damn near Vince Russo levels of overbooking, or at least TNA version of it. And man, you just want to talk about everything just getting involved. Like, come on, you got Sanjay out there, you got Satnam Singh out there, you got Karen out there. Because the minute Briscoe went down, everybody's just, oh, we got finishers getting hit. And then when he was down, they send Donald Stevens out to try to be the referee, and then Karen just hits her with a guitar. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't like both of them nowadays. I've already called Karen a cunt, and old Ed there, the Donald Stevens, I was kind of glad like someone finally had the balls to take her out with the
What
Dance
the
Dance
fuck?
Revolution stuff.
Hold on. What's this heat with you and Aubrey, bro?
She
What's
started to get
happening?
annoying. I'm sorry, she kind of got annoying after a while. She went from calling it down the middle at first, which I didn't mind, but did it just come on, man? We already know about the
Like
Donald
she
Stevens
doing what
stuff,
she booked though.
huh?
Right. Like,
She
what you
doing
mean,
what she
bro?
booked.
I was
You
just
She
kind
taking
of
her
doing what
booking
she
personally, bro?
I'm
right.
sorry.
If
I was
you
kind
gonna
of
have to talk. You have to go talk about Tony Khan. You know.
his booking too, because yeah, he's
I
part of
mean,
the Anarchy.
that's who
Or do you think
booking her
Jarrett booked
though.
this? Do you think Jarrett may have booked this?
No. I said that's who booking her. So of course she's gonna do whatever she told out there. She
Right,
go
bro.
for
You over
booking
here.
it down the middle, or calling it down the middle. From she go from that to doing all the other stuff. It ain't because she just want to do it. She is
So,
told what to do.
So I believe that's a little bit of both, maybe. I'm kind of believing that's a little bit.
How? Because she's not the one who booking these matches.
Oh, that's
I
Yo,
just
part
asked her. I'm asking a question. She not booking the matches, so how is it both ways?
because you said how's it go both ways?
Yeah, because she not booking them. She not doing none of that.
Oh yeah, some of it's booking. Yeah, I agree with that, but even I'd be wondering sometime like wait, aren't you supposed to be doing this? Like you're the referee, like call it down the middle. And it was just times I've seen where it just kind of like went off the rails. Like
And
that's
that's
not
what
on
I've
her
seen in
though,
the
bro.
past.
that's not on her. None of that is on her. None of that. It can't be on her.
Cause
Man.
She got to do what she told. And Tony Khan is the booker, the owner, the whatever, the top guy, the chief.
that's the Booker of the year. We all
Yeah,
that's the
And
I don't
Booker.
so,
know what your beef for Aubrey is, but
I,
this
wa- I
match,
can't I
bro.
didn't mind the guitar thing, but obviously there was like what? How many guitar shots was it? 2 out there we saw? Cause what? Briscoe ended up getting up finally, and cause who else got hit with a guitar? I'm trying to remember who else did. Was it 2
Mark.
guitar shots?
Yeah, Mark
Or
got hit, then Aubrey got hit.
okay, Mark got hit, and then Jarrett's arguing with Briscoe, and then Briscoe hit him and got hit into a big rig, and or so they kept calling it like 2 different moves. I either heard big rig or shatter machine, and they won
Yeah,
the match.
Excalibur kept calling it the Shadow Machine. I thought they weren't supposed to do that. He said it twice too.
I did catch that. Like they did call, yeah, he said shatter machine like a couple times out there. But this match was very long, and it reminded me of TNA overbooking in like the last 5 minutes of this entire match. Like it was just going all over the place.
See, I actually didn't mind the overbooking because the overbooking is what saved this match. I think they went into this match thinking that FTR was a lot more popular with this crowd than they were because they straight booked this match with nothing but heat for like 20 minutes, bro. And the crowd
yeah.
was not giving them anything. So, as a viewer watching at home, this just heat in silence was so boring until Aubrey came out and got cracked with that guitar. And then I woke up like, oh shit. like,
It
like
did
this
wake
just
the
got
crowd
real,
up.
bro.
Here's the thing. I think throughout the whole night, it was not a good crowd until the Anarchy in the arena match.
Shoot, I
I
say
swear.
they didn't give a shit about anything until right after the TBS title match. Like
That's
when
Right,
Chris
right.
because
Yeah,
they
Statlander
that's
knew
when the
came out.
crowd
everything.
woke up.
Right, because that's what they knew. Like, oh, okay, these are matches that we came to see, folks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
two match
it's
show for
like
real.
you're right. It was. It was the 2 match show, the 4 pillars and the and the Anarchy arena match, and it's like I wasn't feeling I wasn't feeling the end of this match. It was when it was like in the ring because man, these 4 guys right here are very good workers. So it was like I was seeing a good match for a little while. Then all of a sudden, it's hard to me. It's hard. Like I didn't mind the interference to a certain point. I knew it was gonna be a little wacky. We got a guest referee that's not a real referee. Of course, it's gonna be a little wacky, a little off his hinges a little bit. So I knew it was gonna do that, but man, my goodness, then it just was like, why this happening? Why this happening? Oh, we got all coming out. Okay, crack. Like, what is going on? Like, tell me what's going on. I'm over
Like
here
Should have
just
been an
watching
immediate
it.
disqualification.
where was
Right.
the DQ? Where was the
Oh,
DQ?
I guess they knocked out. So how they gonna call for the break if they knocked out? How they gonna call for the bill if
Oh
they
my
knocked out
gosh.
on their head?
I,
Crack.
I thought
Oh
they'd go
man.
send a third referee out there.
No facts. Well, this always had to end with Mark though, right? That was the whole point of,
Yeah,
you
that was
know.
the whole. Yeah, that was the whole point. It
Like
got to end with Mark.
whose side is Mark Briscoe on? Like that was the thing. Like whose side is he gonna be on? And even with
But
Mark Briscoe right now, and listen, I'm trying to watch more Ring of Honor, so I can't tell what he's doing on there all the way. But should they
No,
really
no,
be
no, that's over, bro. Because now they've merged. Like I was watching Ring of Honor, but now they've merged Ring of Honor and Dark. So now it's like
oh
3 hours long, full of squash matches. Ring of Honor's
oh
dead, bro.
god. Damn,
It's over,
that
bro.
it's so damn. It's the damn man. Wow, it's over that
It's over
fast.
now, bro. This
Because even
week, bro.
they really merged it to. Oh, good lord. Why? But even Mark Briscoe, I feel like they should be building this guy as a big, face on ROH or maybe on Dynamite now since we're seeing him more on there. And, I've said before, I think he should be winning the Ring of Honor title at some point because even I kind of question where they're booking with Mark Briscoe right now. So where is he really going to go? I kind of wonder that sometime.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this made a lot more sense than Sabu for me. So I going into this match was looking forward to it. I mean, like Kyle said, 4 really good workers. I really liked the story with Mark and everything. The crowd just didn't seem to give it. And actually, let me just say this right quick, because this is going to be consistent all night. This is the first time I've watched an AEW show where I felt like the crowd is like those typical WWE crowds, where like normally an AEW crowd, a bunch of people are paying to see AEW, right? But this was the first time it felt like some of the crowd was there because this is AEW, and like the rest of the crowd, this was just some shit to do on a Sunday night. The tickets were cheap, so they just came to the show to watch it. Because you can tell by who was getting pops when pops were coming, like at entrances and stuff. And then like nothing else mattered on the show to this crowd, and it's like that's not what AEW was like. And this is the first week I felt like that, but that's like them WWE crowds, man. Like just some people bringing their families to the show because it's just some shit to do on a Sunday night. Like, like the
That
people
goes.
aren't there just
Tickets are free.
because they're not
That
invested in the
goes.
stories and all that. Like, this is the first time I felt like that, and it happened all night, bro. Even during the 4-way, like MJF was getting some nice pops here and there. You got a little, this is awesome here and there, but like overall, dude, even the matches that was hype, like this crowd just was giving them shit, bro. They ain't give them nothing, dude,
They
and I
didn't
don't
care
really know why.
because I
Here's the
don't know.
thing.
Like, was those burgers and fries not good enough? They were supposedly giving out, or
Bro, what
like
I say
Nah,
when you told me that, I said I would have went just for that. So maybe that's what it was. People just popped up because y'all giving free food with a ticket, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's just go see some AW," even though we don't watch this show. Like,
I want a
that
I
goes
meal.
to
don't
the
know.
ticket sale. That goes to the ticket sales, though. You know what I'm saying? What I was saying, then you have to fill those seats up some way, somehow. And you go start filling those seats up with people who, like you were just saying, doing something on a Sunday night. And that's what gonna happen for what gonna happen to you. And it's not a good thing. When you get those type of crowds. Like you said, that's more more of a WWE type of crowd.
That's
AEW was had that feeling of a huge budget indie show, and
PWG on a budget.
and
So what do
so
you think
now
is better? What do you think is better? Should they have not done like the discounts and all that to try and fill the house and just let it be like a small group of passionate fans, or should they have gone like they did and just say, "Here, fuck it, here's some tickets," just to try and fill it up?
you try to sell out the FGM brand, you know. So that's one thing you trying to do. So
And
I
done
guess
it.
that's what you want is the big crowd so it can look good on TV. It don't sound good, like Steven was saying the whole bunch of times. Like, shoot, this crowd wasn't good, and it make you not invested in the show.
They weren't
So,
invested, and
so I
even
guess it's a double-edged sword,
that's true. Because even a little
You get
bit
what you pay
after
for, huh?
that's true.
right?
And even a little bit after, because I guess they just moved on in the FTR's next feud, because what they were trying to interview Ricky Starks in the back, and then Bullet Club Gold beats him up, and then FTR makes the save. So I'm like, so this is the next feud, right? That's what I
How
was
did he
kind of.
see that coming? Didn't they just do this to this man like a week ago? How did he not see? Like,
Yeah, they did
what are
it
we
last
doing?
week. Yeah, they did it the other night. They did the other night and beat him up.
And you just eliminated one of them, so they not done with you. Like you should have been watching your back the whole time. But well, here's the thing now. So what? Who Bullet Club is gonna go get if that's the case? You got FTR. They moved them over to they feud. Who Bullet Club gonna go get that makes sense? It probably ain't gonna make sense. I don't know. It's gonna be something that involves somebody from Japan. I promise you that.
El Phantasmo.
And what do you say?
I say El Phantasmo, most likely.
Well, you know, he gonna come in. He gonna be hot for a week or so, and this whole feud ain't gonna make a damn lick of sense.
I don't even think he's gonna be hot for a week or so.
I don't think so. And honestly, I'll say this too. It'll probably, if it's not some multi-tag match at Forbidden Door, they will probably go get El Phantasmo and maybe Chris Bay and Ace Austin, and maybe it'll be some big match. I don't know. Bullet Club is all over the place. It's some weird civil war, and everybody's got a sub faction right now in Bullet Club.
There is nobody associated with Bullet Club that they can bring in for this that's going to get a pop. Not one. Not a single person, bro. No, not one, bro. Maybe Kenta. Maybe Kenta, but
isn't he on the David Finlay side?
I mean, in general, like anybody associated with anything Bullet Club, nobody they bring in except maybe Kenta is going to get a pop, period. Whether it's going to be on their side or against them for Forbidden Door, nobody's going to give a shit about Finlay, Phantasmo. Even though I love Ace and Bay, this crowd does not watch TNA. Like,
right, so
Kaleo, nobody, bro. Not a one except maybe Kenta. That's it, bro.
And I can't even name all the ones in Japan right now in Bullet Club. And like, because even like I told Stephen already, for like, I say, they added Clark Connors, and I'm like, you like who?
Oh my gosh, my bad. That's the one, Clark Connors, bro.
Clark Connors, who? I'm like, who else is in Bullet Club? House of Torture, Evil. Oh, Evil's still part of the crew. Like,
is dead, bro.
I'm like, you even know House of Torture was. So it's like I said, everyone's in some sub faction, or I don't know. But after that, I know they had Jericho and Saraya basically challenge Cole and Baker to a tag match for Dynamite, and then Jericho threw a fireball at one of the crew guys because he's a wizard.
Are they going to be in Vegas this week?
I have no idea.
Because get the fuck out of Vegas, bro.
Yeah.
Because
I think that crowd will, like,
crowd. This is not
whatever crowd they're going to be in will probably receive this match better than the match we just saw, honestly. If they're not in Vegas,
Maybe, because going to the next match here for Vegas, Wardlow versus Christian Cage in a ladder match for the TNT Championship.
Man, boy, you just don't know how I was just scared for Christian. The whole damn match, I was just scared.
Bro, facts, bro.
And I was like praying, like, please,
some rough spots.
please let this nigga get up. And don't tell me on Wednesday he can't compete you. That's all I was just thinking. I'm like, oh man, this match was just brutal. I was like, it wasn't even brutal. It was brutal for just to see somebody like Christian and his fate, and we know what he came. Overcome to get back to the wrestling. Right, so it was like you were watching this with your one eye open, one eye closed. Like, hey, this boy getting cracked on the back of the with ladder, getting power bomb on the ladder. I'm like, oh, this man here. I hope this man can get up.
This was some brutal stuff.
One part, I did see his head bounce off of the ladder where he got power bomb in that corner. In that corner spot, I saw his head bounce on. I'm like, man, see, there we go. Yeah, take one.
And there was a lot of like really brutal spots in this. What got me was when Cage had jumped off the ropes onto to the ladder, and you saw how the ladder just broke big time and stuff. And what got me is that he tried to use the same ladder to climb back up to get the title. I'm like, why would you use the broken ladder again? And then they kind of had the referee trying to hold the ladder. It was just like a lot of brutal stuff. And then they sent Arn Anderson out there to, I guess, legitimately bite Luchasaurus's hand and bleed all over the place for some reason. Like, why did they have him bite his hand so he could try and chomp it off for some reason? And even And listen, Wardlow's a big guy, so some people question why is he doing these like big high spots off the top rope, especially the one off the ladder, like Jeff Hardy style, doing a swanton onto Luchasaurus, over the ladder and whatnot, onto the tables. Because when they was getting the tables already, I'm like, is this about to be a TLC match now? Like, I thought this was a ladder match, because that's what it was starting to turn into then. And, even towards the end, which, good catch by Wardlow catching Christian Cage and then hitting him with the power bomb and stuff. But, and he ended up winning the title. But there was some brutal and scary spots. Like, it wasn't bad, but some of this, like, you just had to kind of sit there like, man, why was this even a ladder match again? Like, Christian's a great
That's my
heel.
thing, bro.
Yeah, like, Christian's
That's
great.
my thing.
Yeah, like, why was this a ladder match? Like, don't get me wrong, Christian's been in ladder matches before, but, given his injury rate right now, should he really be doing ladder matches? He's a great heel out there. Like he's probably one of the best heels they got, especially by promos. And come on, he's got a turtleneck. So,
Turtleneck was the most over thing in this match, bro.
Yeah, and this was the first match he's had back since, like, the last pay-per-view he was at.
I want to say something about all these matches that these people get in and they not supposed to be in. We could go back to with Jeff Hardy debut on AEW, and he was doing all these type of crazy ladder matches and all these crazy spots. Like, what do Tony got some type of Kool-Aid and they just sip it off of it? Like, what do Tony say to these guys to make them do some stuff that they know they not supposed to be doing, and they know anything can happen in this type of environment, in this type of match, to put them on the shelf permanently?
I think it makes more sense for Jeff Hardy than it does for Christian. Like, for Jeff Hardy, this is what you pay to see from Jeff Hardy. Like, if he's not doing that, then like whatever,
Right.
But like
Yeah.
Christian's, he may have been there for the whole TLC and all that, but Christian is like an established, like, long career of just being a good heel rather than a ladder match expert. You know what I mean? Like,
right. He got that on his resume, but it ain't like that's the only thing he got on his resume. Like, if you
you
take
don't
two
need
resumes,
Christian to be in a ladder match to sell Christian in a match. Like,
right,
it's like, but
right.
just like Bryce said, I don't even know why this was a ladder match in the first place. Like, take all the risk and all that aside. Like, storyline wise, I thought the point of this being a ladder match was so Christian could believably beat Wardlow. But not that I thought Christian was going to win, but I thought the point of it being a ladder match was, well, Christian's not going to pin Wardlow, but he could climb a ladder and win the title, But he lost. So, like, why did we like, so what was the point of this being a ladder match? And I it's probably what Kyle said earlier. They just threw a bunch of steps on here to try and sell this shit because nobody was buying it at the time. Because otherwise, there was no reason for this to be a ladder match other than, well, maybe Christian wins because, he's not going to pin Wardlow, but he can take the title from the top. I'd also like to point out that this is the, what, 1, 2, 3, fourth match in a row with outside interference.
Yeah. We're gonna get to the next one.
And it's not even over yet. Like,
the theme of tonight's show was run-ins and interferences. It was several run-ins. Like, everybody had a run-in and interference out here. And I'll say this about this match real fast too. And I know they're trying to rebuild Wardlow and everything, because I think this guy has lost a lot of his momentum, and I don't think he should be a 3-time TNT champion at this point, because his belt just switches hot potato all the time. And I get they're trying, and I know it's going to take some time, and I guess putting Arn Anderson is going to help. The one last thing I'll say, I'll ask this question. Was the Arn Anderson spot necessary with the biting of the thumb?
it was dumb, bro. And especially if what they're trying to do is what you just said, they should have just not had this been a ladder match and just had him pin Christian. Like, this didn't serve anything.
If you go have him win convincingly with the powerbomb sympathy, and you would have made him pin a legend. Boom. Like,
Exactly.
why did it need to be a ladder match other than you needed to try to put some butts to seats? It's like, I don't know. But this ain't the last stipulation match. This ain't the last stipulation match. Well, what else we got?
But yeah, let's get to the next match, which was another run-in for the AEW Women's Championship. So for some reason, Jim Ross disappeared off of commentary, which I thought that was very strange. I don't know why they didn't keep him there the whole night and put Shivani back out there. I know they did that before, but I just kind of find it strange he's not near the main event of commentating the show. That's weird to me. It's kind of it was
Bro, they
refreshing.
always do that, bro.
conspiracy.
I know it was just refreshing to
Can I
hear his
throw a
voice again.
conspiracy theory out there?
Go
Can
ahead.
this might sound crazy, but I don't think he too much wants to call matches for the elite
Yeah, because he tells the truth
or
too much.
or anything around they band, whoever, I don't know. Some of these people that he don't want to call the matches for. So I swear he don't. You could tell.
Because he know
Now,
what's
what
over
happened
and what's
was,
not over.
no, that's not it, bro. What happened
Oh,
No,
was
trust me, it is.
a year or so ago, right? JR said on his podcast that he had a talk with Tony and he doesn't want to do a whole show. He gets because at the time they were doing Dynamite and Rampage,
oh,
and JR was the main on both shows. And so at some point he was like, I want to do the whole show because he gets tired and everything. So he said he had to talk with Tony. So Tony said you do
and he
Rampage,
hit like mid
and
70s,
then
right?
Tony will
Not
be
to cut you
on.
off.
What happened?
Not, I said not to cut you off, right? He in his mid 70s, right? Gotta be in
Yeah,
his mid 70s.
exactly.
Yeah.
Damn near 70,
Right.
yeah.
So I
Because
understand
he
what you're
normally would
saying
have
though.
a cup of coffee with them at the desk when they were doing pay-per-views, and he was there the whole time. He started getting a little ornery and stuff. So what they started doing was have him do half the show, and then they'll switch him out with Tony Schiavone. And so the last couple of times he just hasn't been there at all. But now they
I
brought him
wouldn't even
back, and they
have him in the
just
beginning half then. Hey, I wouldn't even have him in the beginning half. I let him. If that's the case, right there, that throws my conspiracy theory out the window. If that's the case, I had him at my main event and my all of that. The second half, the ending half, because like I like listening to him and Taz. That was like my favorite part. Listening to him and Taz. Him and Taz would joke around when it needs to be joked around. They get serious and they get technical. They talk about oh man, this guy reminds me of woo. It'll make you, if you a young nigga who ain't never heard of those guys before, it'll make you look them up. So it's like I really like those two, and they should use them at the end.
I guess the point
Maybe
is if it's a stamina thing, like the later it gets into the night, like you want him at the beginning because he'll be his most awake and up for like everything, as opposed to once it hits like 12 night at midnight, like it is over here. Then you got JR on commentary, and he's just like, all right, let's wrap this shit up,
right.
I
Okay,
feel
I
like
understand. I
because
understand.
I feel sometimes I feel like Shivani just be saying anything out there right now.
Tony's just there to have a good time, man.
That's
Leave
kind of
Tony
it. He's
alone.
just saying anything. He's just saying anything. He's like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, Excalibur, that was good. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, come on, like.
Tony's just here to have a good
Nah,
time,
Tony.
bro.
Tony saying like you're like your drunk uncle who want to get involved in your activities and stuff. It's like, oh man, I want to do this with y'all. That's all. Come on,
So
man, sit down somewhere, man.
this is the greatest night in the history of our sport.
My
That's how
dude said, "Have you seen anything like this before? I've seen some shit, but it's Tabs was like, yeah, I've seen some shit, but I
Shit
mean,
before, right? I was rolling. I was rolling. I was like, oh my god, they. Oh my goodness, please somebody.
at least
bro,
at
they
least
just
I
here to
get
have a
some
good
funny.
time,
At least you
bro.
get some funny one-liners out of JR sometime. Like he be saying some clever stuff. So at least JR gets a little bit clever sometime. But
Hey, I like the rapport they have, man. Tony, Excalibur, and Taz, they just be chopping it up. They don't give a fuck, bro.
they're just saying anything half the time. So there you go. But no, the AEW Women's Title match, which immediately run-ins, because as these entrances went on, Tony Storm, excuse me, Tony Storm and JV Hayter, Saraya and Ruby obviously get involved. And what was kind of weird to me, like, okay, they're attacking her before the bell even rings until they finally get in the ring. I'm sitting here kind of wondering, like, where is Britt Baker? Because you got Ruby there, like spraying like the whole green, spray can at the Jamie Hayter, and Paige is getting involved, and then finally, because even I had to wonder, like Baker, we saw Baker earlier in the night. What took you so long to come back out here? I was kind of going with Gerard told me like, you gotta understand, man. She had to have a celebrate with Adam Cole because Adam Cole won his match, so it took her that long to come out. And then they got Hikaru Shida coming out there. This whole match was run-ins, and I don't know if it's because Jamie Hayter is still hurt because they did say she had an injury, and maybe she was just working through the injury, and that's why they did all these run-ins and stuff. But this was just like run in, and this match was like 3 minutes, and
Yeah,
Tony
here's my
Storm won
take
the
on it,
title.
bro. Yeah, Jamie Hayter, from what I've read, is fucked up. So that was why this match was going to go short. But at the same time, like the beatdown they gave her, you could have just made this a match. Like the shit they were doing, throwing her into the steps and shit. Like if she's fucked up and can't compete, that's one thing. But if she's fucked up and you still doing shit like that, then just have the match. Like what you
Right.
just said is absolute facts, bro. It made no sense that they're beating her ass when we know Britt Baker's there, and apparently Sheeta's there too, and they're just letting her get her shit kicked in. They just let it happen for like minutes and minutes, and then we finally get in the ring and the match and all that, and then they decide to help her and shit. I I thought this was handled poorly, but I'm all here for two-time Tony, bro.
I'm here for it too. And here's the thing, I'm just here for a title reign that I could at least see the champion being at least the forefront of the feud, man. Because
Well, that's
with
probably not gonna
Tony,
happen.
right, yeah. Here's the thing, that kind of dashed everything out because I just remember that Saraya is going to have her set along tag team match with Chris Jericho. So it's like she's not
Exactly.
even the forefront of the title picture. It's like whoever got the title is the lackey of the person of the group. And it's like, why is that? Why the title holder is the lackey? I don't understand that concept. It's just I feel bad for the title. It needs to be really a forefront. It's a afterthought. You kind of forgot that Jamie Hayter was the champion for a long, long time, for a minute,
That's true.
and it's like, if it's a legit injury, I understand. Get well, get back. Get back soon. But it just whole thing is just like it's not really working to me.
I would like to think that Saraya is smart enough to, because like her whole thing in kayfabe and out of kayfabe before the Outcast thing became a thing was she was here to help the women's division. So I would hope that she's smart enough to know that now that Tony's champion, she should be on the side of Tony and not in front of Tony. And hope, I mean, and maybe that's giving her way too much credit because I mean she might be a little ditzy in real life. I don't know, but if her mission statement is I'm here to help the division, like in real life, if I'm here to help the division, then I will hope that she's smart enough to know that now Tony is champion, so she needs to be the one in front of everybody and not me. Hopefully.
Well, I would like
I,
that too. I would like to think that too. But here's the thing: it's like you.
My nigga got no faith, bro.
No, because I'm about to say this. It's like here's the thing. And Soraya only been in the business X amount of years, in a legit, mainstream business. Her time at WWE, then add on this little time right here with AEW. So it ain't like she got some type of true knowledge of knowing how to get a champion over. Most of her thing, if you go back to the WWE, everything is so scripted, everything is so heavily written. I highly doubt that she had anything to do with any of her title reigns or any of her matches being mapped down because it had heavily hands on the WWE is with their matches and they have heavily scripted they are with their promos.
Oh sure, but
So
all I need from her is
Yep.
just to move out the way. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Is just move out the way
I
and let
don't think
Tony do her
she
thing.
I don't think she got that whereabout. And that's what I was saying. You know, I don't think she got that whereabout to know that she got to be the one to step out the way. You know,
She has
she
to
got
be
to
the leader. And
right.
that was the problem I'll say with Jamie Hayter's title reign is that most of the focus was on Britt Baker versus, the Outcast and all that. Jamie Hayter just happened to be there and just stand in the background and not really say that much, even though she is the women's champion. But like she has the main women's belt. Like, shouldn't she be kind of more of a forefront here, or at least be leading or saying a little bit more? No, she was just still playing second fiddle to Britt Baker like usual. And that was kind of it. That's why her title reign it's not really much to say about her title reign. She just looked like she was just holding the belt after a while.
Which is
Yeah.
such a constant with these championships in AEW. How many times? I feel like ever since the Thunder Rosa era, we've been keep saying this about this. Yeah, they're hot. Then they win the title, do shit for however many months. Fans want them to lose. They lose. Next hot thing comes. They have a shit title reign and repeat. It's
But here's the
come on,
thing.
dog.
That cycle might end up being broken because this I think this title is going to be hot potato in between most of the members of the factions of the feuded factions. You got one Sable might end up getting a title run with it. You know, Karo Shida, you don't count her out. She probably end up getting a title run soon. Ruby
Shit, give
Wright,
me
I
that
mean
match,
Ruby
bro. Tony and
Soho.
Sheeta.
I would
Sheesh.
like that too. Don't get me
That'd be
wrong.
good. That'd be really good.
But we got here's the thing. It gotta make me want to watch that. You know, I really want to watch it. You know,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I agree on that. But yeah, let's see where, Tony two-time will go. But like I said, there was just a lot of run in after run in after run in. And then I can get why due to the injury. But like I said, that's the theme of tonight's show. It's run ins and interferences. Next, though, open challenge, House of Black. Who are they going to challenge for those 6-man titles in a house rules match? And it was the Acclaim, because I think they won a match on Rampage and ended up already challenging them.
So then why
And
do they treat this like a surprise if that's what happened?
good question. Yeah, why treat it as a surprise if you
Because I
know
didn't even know that because I didn't watch it. But if what you just said is true, then why did they act like like we didn't know that's who it was supposed to
and,
be?
and before before I get into this, I know Kyle's gotta get ready to roll. You got any other final thoughts before you get up out of here, Kyle? Oh, I think he already
Or he dipped out?
yeah, he had to go. So I understand. So I was gonna ask him if he's gonna get his final thoughts, but it's all good though. But no, but to get back to my point though, yeah, how can it be really an open challenge if they already said they were gonna be challenging on Rampage?
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't really make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. So like I already kind of knew they were gonna be challenging them, and they did their rap thing. At least these weren't the worst bars this time.
I thought they were pretty good,
These actually pretty decent.
considering.
Yeah, these are actually pretty decent this time. So I thought it was okay. The match itself, I thought it was solid. I didn't hate it. Like, it was what it was. Like, it was a solid match. I didn't mind it. I ain't gonna lie, I thought Billy Gunn was killing out there, by the way. And House of Black won. Billy hit the Famousers, and Black came back with the Black Mass and won the match. So I don't really got to say much about this. This is a solid tag match. Solid 6-man.
Yeah, this match could have it would have benefited a lot with some forethought. Like I know the House of Black every week is doing their open challenge stuff, but considering how big the acclaimed are in this company, you could have easily actually built a feud between these two teams as opposed to just throwing them in a random match on the pay-per-view. I thought that would have served this match way better because it just came across as just a match on the pay-per-view when considering who's involved, it should have felt like way more than that. Like the Acclaim got a crazy reaction when they came out because they're supposed to, they're the Acclaim. But after that, it was just like, yeah, well, standard
Yeah,
6-man tag.
Right, the match, there you go. Even with all this house rules and the lights going black and all that, not bad lighting or anything, but this was just a basic 6-man tag. That's all it really was. This could have been on TV.
It definitely could have been on TV. That's like my main thing because there was nothing to separate this match from the ones we already been seeing from House of Black. So if they had it in mind, and by they I mean Tony Khan, if they had it in mind that this is the match they wanted to do for this show, they should have been building this for like at least 2 weeks. That this was what we were going to do, so we can get like some actual heat behind this match, other than we just like these two teams. So here you go. Like,
There you go. Because right now it's just House of Black versus literally anybody they can find. That's a 6-man team or whoever's in whatever faction they'll face. And,
and
like,
sometimes they're not even real teams. They're just random niggas put together.
yeah. That's what I said the other night. Unless you was watching Ring of Honor, it's like, okay, Blake Christian, Grand Metalik, and AR Fox. And I was like, what, 5 minutes? So, like, just random people. And, like, even to like tonight, like, so these are the actual team they face, but they try to say this is an open challenge. No, the Acclaimed already said they were going to be coming for y'all on Rampage. So where was literally the surprise in all of this? So, like I said, it was what it was. This could have just been on television. It was just a solid 6-man and just got through the show. So I don't really got much to say about it after that.
Yeah, the match itself is whatever, but it does pose a larger problem with the 6-man titles because since their inception, this is how they've booked them. Like, there's no real stories with the 6-man titles. It's just open challenges until they lose. And it's kind of like, well, can't we just get two teams wrestling to qualify or something? Like a contenders match or something? Like, is it that hard to just put two teams together over a series of weeks to find a number one contender, then build a story? Like, is it can't be that complicated.
And to be honest, half of the company is in a faction. There's so many factions right now. Like, you could find like several people because it just looks like they don't. It's like they can't find no teams. And come on, like, remember the whole best of 7 thing and how long that went? It's like we don't have any other teams, but we go do 7 more matches with the same people. Like, come on now. Like literally, you got like 20, 30 different factions in the company. So go through them, even though I feel like a lot of these teams are job guys, but still give them something.
Man, and that's so crazy because this company at the beginning, man, like 2 years ago, like the tag team divisions were crazy, man. But now it seems like all the teams are losers. Like,
Dude,
they're all in the battle royal.
yeah, dude, when they did that tag team battle royale like a few months ago on Dynamite, that told me the depth of the tag division. And this is when FTR was kind of out at the time. This literally told me they desperately needed FTR back because I looked at all these teams out there and I'm like, man, this is what we got. Like, literally, it's like only 1 or 2 good ones out there, but either half of them weren't all that, they lose all the time, or we just start pulling people out of New Japan now. So, or AAA, and it's like we're just pulling anybody. Like, this is it. So, like, that told me where the depth of the tag division was and why it wasn't really that good. Because, like, they really needed FTR back. Because I'm like, who else was the Gun Club? Like, come on, even Jarrett and Lethal get a higher position. They lose a lot, but they get a higher position than half of these teams.
Yeah.
Even the Lucha Brothers, and I know the Lucha Brothers are the Ring of Honor tag champions, but even they've been kind of, I like them, but even they just kind of like up and down half the time.
It's funny you say they're the Ring of Honor tag champions, but as a person who watches Ring of Honor every week, you would never know that. Like, they're never on there defending the belts, bro.
And they were in a battle royale at the beginning of this show.
Yeah.
So there you go. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Next, though, TBS women's title on the line. Taya versus Jade. Taya coming out, I guess almost like, because it's Vegas, so having showgirls on their entrance. Jade, who came out with her sorority sisters doing a dance. I don't know who was rapping. People actually thought that was Lotto at first, who was rapping down to the ring. Because I actually thought it was. It sounded like Lotto. So I actually thought that was her. Because I thought they actually paid for to be there. Because like they really do get a lot of rappers on here now. So Jade's entrance was cold. Like the whole, fraternity thing. Like that was really good. Like I enjoyed.
Before the main event, this block of everything that happened here was my favorite thing on the show. Boy.
This is when the crowd really started waking up then. The match itself, I like this match better than the first one they had on Dynamite because the whole, Taya can't use this finisher because whatever it was, because they both have the same finisher, and how that match ended was really bad. I thought this was I thought this was at least a better match. Couple bad spots here and there, but I thought this was more good than the last one. So I like this one better. Obviously, Layla Gray is going to get involved, and Mark Sterling, who just gets a lot of TV time for some reason, who just pops up with anybody in this company, and just like, how many people are you with? And Taya hit the road to Valhalla, but 2 count, and then right after that, Taya was gonna go up for it again, but Jade got out of it. Jade hit the Jaded and won the match, and then she became 60-0.
I mean, not that it even matters, but like a slight criticism for this match, because she's not even champion anymore, so fuck it. But like one slight criticism I had is I would have given this like 2 more minutes, because I would have had Taya kick out of Jade's Jaded too. Because I mean that completely just buries Taya Valkyrie's finisher. Like she kicked out of hers, but she can't kick out of hers because it's stronger, I guess. Like, okay.
It's like I do my finisher, she kicks out, but she does the same thing I do, and then
that's it.
That's just kind of it. So like why? Literally why? It doesn't make any sense. And then right after that, Mark Sterling started to say, "There's nobody else. Nobody can beat her. Like we're out of challengers." And then Kris Statlander returns. Got a pretty good pop out there, really big pop. Huge pop of Kris Statlander. Looked great, by the way, too. I saw a lot of people on the internet saying that the whatever the fit thickness was back, I guess.
Yeah, she's been hitting the gym crazy from what I've seen, man. So good for her.
Yes, because she's had some bad knee injuries in the past, and like I said, the title was on the line right off the bat. They started dodging each other's finishers until Statlander hit her finisher and won the match and became the champion. So it was always said that Statlander was going to be the one to beat her for the title. Did you like how they just did this in a quick fashion, or would you just like the regular match?
I can see why, because I've seen people say it. I can see why people wouldn't like this and they'd rather them build a story between them and all that. But I think there's also something to having a moment on a pay-per-view. Because before this, what moment did we have on this pay-per-view? I mean, Toni won the title, but that was such a shit way of that happening that I wouldn't consider that one. So if this match between Statlander and Cargill didn't happen on this show, at this point in the show, what would we have had that we could say, wow, what a moment on this pay-per-view, So I think that was cool that like it really was Jade after the match saying, look, I just packed up Taya Valkyrie in 8 minutes. Like I could take on anybody. And then she comes to face with somebody who she's never faced in this run, and that person beats her. And it's a homegrown person, and it creates this moment on pay-per-view. So I thought, yeah, like I said, like this whole block, the Taya match, and then Statlander coming out and winning, I thought that whole block of shit was cool on my end. I thought it was dope.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't a bad match overall. And, Statlander did get a moment right here. Because, like I said, they could have just built it up into a match. And they'll probably build it up into a match now. Excuse me, it'll probably be a rematch at what point. But this is where I thought the crowd actually woke up finally. This is where because a lot of the crowd, like we said, all throughout the half this show, was that the crowd was very dead throughout half the night. This is when they really start waking up and actually reacting to stuff. And, more interested in the show because before they were just halfway dead out there, but at least they were alive this time. So this is where I thought the crowd actually start giving a shit then. So that's when they woke up. But I didn't mind though. I thought it was pretty good. So I liked it. Next was the AEW World Title on the line, which was not the main event. Some people still question if it should have been, but given the build to a lot of this whole thing, I figured it wasn't going to be the main event because they have not really built this up well for multiple account of reasons. Okay. And I'm watching everybody do their entrance and stuff. Jungle Boy comes out. Sammy and Tay come out, which basically bringing back the cue cards, but announcing that Tay Conti is pregnant. So congrats to them.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
sure.
huh?
So yeah, sure.
Yeah, because compared to the internet, hell, people was already going in on that, saying, "So did he wrap it up, or are you sure it's yours?" Or
Oh, that's
niggas was,
crazy.
yeah, they was like, "You sure she went with nobody else?" Sammy man, he gets around, so um, people people was already trying to bury that to what I saw on Twitter, but nah,
Niggas are
seriously.
weird, man.
Yeah, I know. Seriously though, good for them though, and whatnot, because we haven't really seen Tay Conti on TV that much.
I guess we know
Darby,
why now.
well, yeah, now we know why. I thought it was just kind of best to keep her away from him because he looked like he would get better over as a face, even though that's kind of out of nowhere as it is, anyways. Because let's remember when they put her with him before, crowd was not feeling them for obvious reasons because people knew the truth why, but at least now and even this does help his cause. Darby, who killed a guy in a MJF costume and had somebody dressed as Elvis dispose the body, so live murder, folks. And then he came out on a skateboard.
Yeah, I'm
And
all for these Darby Island short films, bro.
just live murder, folks. And then MJF coming out with the devil mask and everything. I like this gear, by the way. That looked cool. Overall, the match itself, it was a good fatal four way. Someone believe it was a bit too many planned spots though, especially by when they kept doing like the multiple like combined spots like the Tower of Doom or like everybody mixed into one to hit one move and stuff.
Or the
I
submission joint.
Oh yep, that one too. Because some people was like it's just like a lot of contrived like planned spots that just looked a little bit too choreographed. Some would think. Like I said, I think this match was better than the actual build and everything. That
Agree.
I did like when they all hit their mentors finishers. You know,
Mhm.
Christian, Jungle Boy doing the Christian kill switch, Sammy doing the code breaker, Darby doing the Scorpion death drop, and MJF hit the crossroads. I did like MJF throughout the match when he kept saying like, "What the fuck?" Like he really kept saying that throughout half the match when somebody was in the move on. And he was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck? Like what the fuck, man? Like what is that?" Um, like I overall thought it was good. It was better than the build. Personally, I'd rather have just seen MJF versus Darby. I think that was the money match. I think that's what everybody would wanted to see. Because I just felt like Jungle Boy and Sammy were just I feel like they were just there. They really shouldn't have been in this, but they've really been trying to push this four pillar storyline to the death. Personally, I think MJF is literally leagues ahead of all these guys. Darby's probably like the closest thing, maybe, but everybody else out there, Jungle Boy, I just don't care. I'm sorry. Like Jungle Boy, every time I hear a promo from him, it gives me sleep insomnia at this point. And then again, that match with Rush didn't do him no favors either. Sammy, his whole face turn from out of nowhere is still strange to me. Like, I'm like, isn't he in a heel group? So, like, where is he cutting all these face promos all of a sudden? And even when MJF told him, like, listen, you got a kid on the way. Lay down for me. You need the money right now. Just lay down. It's like, yeah, I need the money. And it just tries to roll him up there after that. But the craziest thing to me out of this whole match, and this is kind of smart at the end, Darby tried to go for the coffin drop again. MJF brings the title, places on the Jungle Boy, and Darby hits that, and then MJF hits like that headlock takedown. So yeah, Darby took the pin. The guy that was mostly over that people believed would beat MJF. So me and you got this wrong. I thought Jungle Boy was gonna be taking the fall. You thought Sammy be taking the fall. So we both got that wrong. So they pinned Darby for some reason.
uh, yeah, I guess just because it serves the headlock takeover story. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I don't disagree with anything you said. I thought for the most, I think I didn't even mind the four-way spots. With them each doing a thing to each other. Like I thought the match was cool. It just suffered from exactly what you said. MJF is just leagues above everybody in this match. So even though I thought the match in terms of what was done was dope. Nobody felt like they were winning this match at any point. Like,
Oh no, nobody ever.
nobody.
MJF was never gonna lose here. He was never gonna lose. Like, come on, it's still too early into his title reign right now. And even they tried to point out that Jungle Boy's got the title. Will he turn heel? And he didn't turn heel.
See, I
But
like that because that's like I don't know if you remember what the Sami Zayn story in NXT where he kept getting so close to winning the belt, but he just couldn't do it. And then when he finally got that one more shot against Neville, he was like, "Am I going to have to do this to finally get what I need?" And then he chose not to do it, and it almost cost him and all that. Like I thought that story was dope in the match. Like they probably could have even played that up more with Jungle Boy. It was outside of that one spot. They didn't really play that up at all. But yeah, like I thought everything they did was cool. Like in terms, like the difference between this match ending up on like a match of the year list for me and it not is like just cause like everything was wrestled well and all that, but not once did I think MJF was ever really in trouble. And I guess, like you said, it would have been better if it was one-on-one with Darby. But I think it's better they did the four-way because then the only way they could believably have MJF not leave as champion is if somebody pinned somebody else. If Sammy pinned Darby or Jungle Boy pinned somebody, like that. So that's why I think they did the four-way instead because nobody was pinning MJF, but you could kind of make an argument why somebody like Darby could pin Sammy or something instead. But even that, it never felt like MJF was losing this match. So that's
oh no, yeah, because I
you
just
know.
never believed it. I just felt like him versus Darby was gonna be the money match. Like that's the match I felt like that was the most interesting and people wanted to see out of all that. It's just like once I heard it was gonna be a fatal four-way, it's like he's not losing. Like I can't see him losing. Like it just really wasn't gonna happen. He was gonna win one way or another. Like I said, Darby felt like the most credible challenger to me that people could actually get behind and believe in and stuff. Like I said, Sammy was just like having a weird face turn who was already a heel. And like, dude, you're just a guy in Jericho's group still. So I just didn't really build into that. Jungle Boy, he just feels like a far gone, like, I don't even think he should have been in this damn match, but they just pushing this, four pillar thing to the highest. Like you almost gotta sit there and kind of think he has a chance when he really doesn't. They just felt odd. They felt off to me in this match. Like I
They
felt like
could
they
do a
really should.
double turn. They could have Jungle Boy turn heel and Sammy
Yeah,
turn like officially face.
because they need to change something. Because right now, Jungle Boy, he's
A
just there.
guy.
He's just a guy. That's it. He is a guy. That he is there. I don't think he's all that. And like I said, the promos are just that good. And like even I go back to that promo he had with MJF not that long ago, and I remember MJF saying like, "Wow, kid, it took you 4 years to cut a decent promo." Like shit, he ain't lying because like these Jungle Boy promos are that good. Nobody really ever believed he was gonna win. And like I said earlier, that match they tried to do with Rush, he got the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah,
So
that did him no favors. I don't know
that
why
did
they
it,
did
and Rush wasn't
that.
even selling half the time. I remember that. Like he wasn't even selling, and it got to the point where I was watching that match saying, like, who are we pushing here? Like
Yeah.
literally, who are we pushing here? So I would have been glad if it was just a one-on-one match. Like I said, I don't think the Fatal 4-Way was bad. It was good. It's just the build to this was not there. It wasn't there. It wasn't all that. And like I said, this is the world title we're talking about here, but they wanted to push this narrative of the four pillars and all that. I felt like it backfired on them because the only person, like I said already several times, that was the most credible that people wanted to see, that was the money match, that was with Darby. Sammy and Jungle Boy did not need to be part of this. Like, they really didn't. They wanted, because even I feel like somebody brought this up to me one day. They want this four pillar thing to be almost like, listen, these guys are like not like the four OVW, like, Cena, Orton, Batista, and Brock and whatnot. Like, I definitely don't see that. I don't.
Well, I'm gonna contend that because I mean, yeah, I think it would
Maybe
better
two of
serve
those
them.
guys.
I think it would have better served them if they did this down the line more, because then maybe they'd feel more ready for that position. But I think this young in their careers, all these guys are better off than those four were at that point in their careers. I mean, what? The prototype Leviathan and and Randy Orton with the bangs. Like,
Oh yeah, he did have that.
I think these feel more outside of the size thing. I feel like this four feel at a better place this young in their careers than they did. But yeah, it's yeah, they should have waited to do this because nobody feels like they're at that level except for MJF. Even I like Darby, like I love Darby, but he doesn't feel like if he won this match, it still would have felt weird to me, you know. So
It's like, why would they
yeah,
take the belt off MJF right now and stuff? Because I've already seen people criticize his title reign, feel like it's been mid already. Like, do we not remember the match he just had with Danielson like a couple months ago?
was it even a couple months ago? Like at this point?
February? Or was it March? March. It was March. Like, yeah, it was a couple months ago.
Yeesh.
Like, it wasn't that long ago. So I like personally, and I believe this will happen. If it does, he needs to go back to facing Punk again, because that's when it was on another level. This was not it in this feud. Like, it really wasn't it. And even like going through the promos for the past few weeks, some of them kind of felt the same in a way. Because if I remember, like Sammy's talking about, well, I worked here, I worked there, and even did like Darby kind of say that the other night, like saying like, well, I was working here, I was working there before I got here. Like I was like, I
Yeah, I
swear,
lived in my car and all that. Like they
yeah,
kept saying the same shit, bro.
it's the same. I started from the bottom, now I'm here promo. Like that's what it is. It's what a lot of these guys, honestly. It's I started from the bottom, now I'm here. Like that's what it start getting repetitive. Even with Jungle Boy, like, well, I was doing this and did that. So like it was literally the same thing, and it just kept going on and on, and that's why. And that's what I said. There's a reason why it just wasn't the main event of the show. Like I said, the build was just really that good. And like I said, I hope MJF moves on to something better now at this point. Maybe it's Punk when he comes back. I don't know. But he needs to be put in a better feud, because this whole feud was not it. It wasn't. And I'm like I said, I was surprised Darby even took the fall here.
I think I think the concept is fine. I just think they didn't do a good enough job to make them feel like credible challengers. But yeah, we'll get to the Punk feud at some point. Although that doesn't really solve the problem. That just, extends the problem more than anything. Because yeah, Punk coming back would immediately make it feel more important if he started feuding with Punk again because of their history and who Punk is and all that. But if he beats Punk, I mean, then what? Or if we don't build to Punk yet, then what are we doing? Like, so I don't think the Punk thing is the solution yet. I just feel like you just got to keep, because he just wrestled Danielson before this. Like, you just got to keep building people up to get to that level, and that's just not what they did this time, and that's unfortunate. That made this match, as good as like the wrestling was, that's what really hurt this match.
Oh yeah, like a lot of, like I said, it was just a lot of this building. Even I'll say this too. Before I move on to the next thing, I just felt like MJF kind of had to carry a lot of this. Like I already said before,
Not even kind of.
like he really did. Like we had to keep sending him out there just to save the promo segment, because all these guys weren't cutting good promos. Like MJF had to literally come out and save the damn segment. Like
Yeah,
he was the one
quite literally.
carrying this whole feud. Like he was the only one that you could really believe in, honestly. Like he's the one that's making this shit look good and entertaining and stuff. Everybody else was just kind of there. They were just there. They just come on, like MJF can't save all these people on his own now. And I know he's the world champion, but like, dude, he's got to come out there and save 3 people in a promo segment. Like, come on now. So it's just weird. But moving on into the main event of the show, the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club in an Anarchy in the arena match. And let's get to the first part of this. Okay, before we move on into all this match, especially the Blackpool Combat Club came out. This band or
Oh
whoever
my
these
gosh.
people were, and because even I had to go back, and I knew I was going to ask this question when I come on here. Like, did you think this guy was in straight up blackface?
I definitely did, and I still do.
Because I had to look this up and really, because I had to I'm like, who is this band? And then I'm like, is this guy wearing blackface? Like, what the hell is this? Because I had to go back and look at a closer shot, and I'm like, who are these people? And I'm like, okay, it's a mask, but that shit looked way too close to blackface. And
Like you could have picked any two color combinations. The fact you chose dark black and then the red around the lips, like, nah, bro.
that gave people you literally gave people an impression of that to accuse, like I said, like everybody's now accused us of blackface at this point, but they literally shot themselves in the foot doing that. And listen, I don't know who this band is, and I had to kind of go look to see what it was, because apparently, I guess whoever these people are, the lead singer wears this all the time. He wears a black mask or a white mask and does all this, but you're giving people literally the wrong impression. Like I said, with all the black and especially the red, like I said, the red too. If
There's
this
no
was,
excuse, bro. It's
it's no excuse. That's what I'm
2023.
trying to
Like
say.
if
That's what
you
I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to
like
tell
if
you.
you don't know, no, I don't mean like for you saying that. I mean just like in general for like people who are saying, well, they do this all the time. It's like whatever. It's kind of like, no, bro. It's 2023. Like
Like,
if you
I
don't
don't
know
know
what
these saying.
blackface
Like,
is,
I don't
what
know
the
who
hell
these
we
people
doing,
are.
man?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know who these people are. Like, come on now. Like I had to literally sit there and look. Like, I said, wait, hold up here. Like, let me look at this again. Like, I had to literally go back and check that. And I'm like, wow, no wonder it pissed off a lot of people then. Like, y'all
Yeah,
gave
fuck
people
that.
literally the wrong impression in doing that. So that literally caught my eye the first thing I saw when this whole thing even began, because I had to kind of sit there and kind of rewind a little. I'm like, wait, hold up now. What please don't tell me you got some white dude, with black face on here and the red and all that, because like, don't get me wrong, you wasn't imitating no black people or nothing, but still, like the point, you gave people the wrong impression. Okay, like you really did. Like I said, I don't
Yeah,
know
it's
these
funny that
folks.
Max Caster made that joke earlier about Malachi, but it's
Yeah,
like when Finn Balor does the demon, like it never looks like that to me. But that when dude came out, I was like, oh hell nah, bro.
yeah, this was just damn near blatant. This was just blatant, clear as day. Like like you said with Malachi Black or Finn Balor, at least we saw fangs and like a whole bunch of like different other colors and whatnot. This shit here was just blatant, okay? And going into this match, and I got a lot to say about this because
Go ahead, bro.
yeah, Don Callis, I know he was on commentary. You got the corpse referee out there, Rick Knox, which I'm not surprised by the shit he does. So he was the first person to be bleeding out there. And
Yeah, I
listen,
saw
I
that.
know, yeah, he was the first person. Like, how is the referee the first one bleeding out here? And then once I
I
saw
didn't
who,
even see it. How it happened.
yeah, I don't even know. He just started bleeding. Like, I don't even know how he bled. He just started bleeding out there. And I'm sitting there looking at this, like, how is the referee the first person bleeding in all this? And then when I looked who it was, like, oh, it's Rick Knox. I'm like, okay, it's the corpse referee. No wonder.
Yeah, in the
And
way.
like, there you go. And I'm like, they got the music playing throughout half this match. I get it, like the music thing, like we talked about this earlier. It makes it look like almost like a movie scene, but that shit was starting to annoy me after 5 minutes. Okay, like you could only hear the same lyric for so long over and over, and I'm like, dudes, like literally in this, I was literally getting annoyed by that. And everybody's brawling. Hangman's finally taking off his eye patch because he wanted to look like Solid Snake for some reason, which we know why, because of the whole screwdriver thing and stuff. Even though I still go back to that, he still looked like a dumbass that time running out there by himself. Like he did not look like a badass that month ago. He really didn't. But the Bucks end up super kicking the guy, which by the way, he was wearing a Blackpool. He like takes off his jacket. Yeah, I got a Blackpool Combat shirt on, and then he
Yeah,
just
that
gets
was
super
funny.
kicked. I'm like, thank God. Like, I was glad they super kicked him. I'm like, good, in this bullshit ass fucking song. Like, I
Yeah,
was
it
just,
should have happened earlier, but that was funny.
yeah, it should have happened early because I'm like, stop the damn music. And listen, it's hard to tell everything in this match because you got 5 different camera crews going everywhere with production. And, you of course you got weapons involved, the chairs. I think Moxie pulled out a fork at one point, and
Yeah, he did.
I think a leaf blower was in this match, and
Yeah.
Clock, yeah, Claudio and Matt Jackson, like they're at a truck on the outside of the building and Claudio, like he hits him with a a pile driver. I actually got started. It was time to turn up for me when Danielson was hitting his hit the damn running knee and kicks on people. I was actually kind of getting excited about that, maybe because it's Danielson, but I was actually glad to see that for some reason. You could see the fans kind of doing yes chants then after that. But
It was cool, man.
that was cool. The barbed wire stuff, I'm not surprised by that. This is where to me it start turning to one of these outlaw mud show CZW. This is where I start getting turned off. Like the thumbtacks, I shouldn't be surprised about the thumbtacks, but even slamming, what was it, Moxley? I don't know which of the Young Bucks was it, Matt or Nick? Like,
Matt.
yeah, Matt. It's like foot first. Even I had to say that shit looked retarded. I'm sorry, like that was just dumb to me. Like I'm gonna stick your whole foot into some thumbtacks, which that's very painful and shit, but.
Well, he super kicked him with the explosion, so he was pissed.
Yeah, that's the next thing I'm gonna say that looks fucking dumb because I'm like, this should have killed him. He fucking super kicked Moxley with an exploding Jordan shoe. I just had to throw my hands up at that one. I'm sorry, but I'm like, this shit looks like an outlaw mud show now. I'm like, exploding shoes. I'm like, wow, he might as well be dead. He can't get back up. He should be dead. He should be dead, but he's back up like 5 minutes later. Like, Jesus
You can't
Christ.
kill Moxley? Come on, bro.
Moxley, this is right up his alley, okay? This is his thing, because Moxley bleeds every damn week on this damn show. Like, I've already heard the joke of, shit, he probably bleeds more than a girl on her period right now, or maybe bleed more than Renee. I don't know, but he like, I'm not surprised by him, and, they put thumbtacks into Matt Jackson's mouth, and, I think they ended up like super kicking him, which that already looks dangerous as it is. And I'm trying to name everything in all of this. I really am.
That's impossible, bro.
It is. I did like Hangman and Omega's stuff in a way because they were a tag team before. I did.
Oh my gosh, no, that part where they were back to back and then they looked at each other like, oh shit. It kind of reminded me of Avengers Endgame when Captain America is like all by himself and he's got this whole army in front of him. He's like, all right, well, fuck it, here we go.
Like, let me else point out. Kenny Omega's gear was like Captain America's gear, and he did that stuff with the trash can holding it as a shield, which I might as well call him Captain Canada instead of Captain America. He
did the Charging Star from Marvel vs. Capcom. That shit was cool.
He was trying to do that, but like the whole screwdriver thing gets involved in, and Omega hit Yuta with the V trigger, and then Don Callis gets in there. And, Omega, like, I think he hit him with something, but Omega, like, he already knew it was coming. He just turns around and looks at Callis. But then, and I'll say this right here, because I know Gerard's not out here right now to say this, but he knew, looking at one of those cameraman guys the whole night that was wearing all black, he kind of knew it was some wrestler dressed in black, because we saw a lot of this guy kind of in the way of a lot of camera shots throughout the whole night, okay? And it ended up
I didn't even notice. For real, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, he noticed it, so I'll give him credit. He called that to me earlier in the night. He thought it was gonna be somebody that was gonna be jumping in at some point, and it ended up being Takeshita and whatnot. And then Yuta, what I think did he hit him with the screwdriver Omega, but he did like kind of rolled him up and pinned him in, and the Blackpool Combat Club won, and they kind of start beating up Omega a little bit more. And then, Moxley's going off saying, like, fuck you and all this stuff. So, like I said, I think I may have said it's the last Anarchy Rules match. Moxley, I know he went on, like, Wednesday saying, like, this is going to be the bloodiest match you've ever seen in AEW history, which I would say was the bloodiest match out there. But I said this to myself before getting on doing this review. Either people are going to like it or they're going to hate it. I was liking throughout some of this stuff. But then when it kind of got to the exploding shoe and the thumbtacks, that's why I started calling it an outlaw mud show then. And some of this shit was starting to get a little bit too ridiculous for me. The music thing, I was just already kind of annoyed after 5 minutes. And I was just annoyed by the damn song. Okay, like I get what it was there for, but that shit, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop this goddamn music. It was just annoying me. So, what's your take on it?
I loved it. I'm not even going to disagree that some stuff was, you said Outlaw Mud Show, like, like I'm not even going to disagree. I just personally loved it, man. I was entertained, and by the end of it, I was intrigued on where it went next. And really, that's all wrestling needs to do for me, man. Entertain me and keep me interested in what's going to happen next. So, yeah, man, a crazy ass match. And actually, and I saw a lot of people saying they prefer last year's match, but I'll tell you why I prefer this one. Is mainly because this was better built and better built with better people. You know, like this had a better story going into it, and we got like legit bad motherfuckers in here. We got legit main eventers in this match. Like last year, you trying to convince me the Jericho Appreciation Society is about to throw hands with Moxley and them. Like, no, bro. Like this year,
And it was more people in that last year.
yeah. But this year we got like legit. On one half, you got the bad dudes, and on the other half, you got the main eventers. And it's like, so yeah, all this felt big to me. So like I said, all it had to do was entertain me and keep me interested in where it goes next. And it did both of those things. So I got no complaints. Actually, the only complaint I have is that this match made the unsanctioned match look like child's play. And that's
Really
not even a
did.
knock on this match. It's just a knock on whatever they were doing in that other match.
It really did, to be honest with you. Like, it really did, because this
I
was
mean, you even said it. You said what they stopped the match because Adam Cole was too violent on Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match. Meanwhile, niggas are getting super kicked with exploding shoes and power
and
driving
dub
on
tag.
trucks and shit.
Yeah, going outside and like on a whole bunch of mechanical stuff, and people just randomly bleeding out there, like the referee, which that still makes no sense to me. But like, you saw how wild and crazy all that stuff, screwdrivers and a leaf blower, barbed wire. Like I said, I think, one problem is like his thing. Like, I feel like we see this stuff so often, especially with Moxley. Okay, Moxley, like I said before, Moxley just bleeds every week. That's just on the regular. But let's remember, we just had some steel cage match, like what, 2 weeks ago? That literally, my personal thing, I just think it looked like a damn street fight more than it did a steel cage match. But we saw more brutal stuff like that like 2 weeks ago, and that was just a one-on-one. Hello, yo.
My bad. My bad. What'd you say?
No, I said about the steel cage match. Like, we just saw this stuff like damn near 2 weeks ago. That was like a one-on-one, even though it was steel cage. It looked like more of a street fight than it did. I just feel like we see a lot of these unsanctioned, crazy hardcore matches like bi-weekly half the time. Like, we really do. Especially if it's from Mox half the time. He just bleeds anyways, even if it's a regular match. But like, we see this stuff on the regular, but this looked more brutal than the unsanctioned match early in the night, because yeah, it's not like we didn't have a ref stoppage here. And it is
Yeah, it's a good
okay.
way to desensitize your audience for sure, man. You keep doing it over and over again.
Like, we know the pattern. Like, we see it like almost every other week with somebody, like in some type of crazy hardcore match. And it's like, are you doing this just to draw in fans? Because people get smart up to this after a while, and then they'll just sit there and tell you like it's literally the same thing. Like, it's like killing a market. Some people even feel like about the ticket sales with Vegas, because it's like, this ain't the first time they've been in Vegas here before, and they sold out before. But this time it's not working. There's a thing called killing the town. Okay, if you go to a city so many times so often, it's gonna be a point in time till we see this stuff all the time. It's gonna stop drawing in people after a while. It was, hell, why do you think they depend on my city half the time just to come here as often as they can, so many times?
Yeah.
It's the
I mean,
market.
there's something to that. You can't kill the market, and I don't even know if that's what it is. I think the product has just generally been cold lately. Even though I think stuff on here has been built well, there's not a lot of excitement about what's going on around the shows. I mean, like a lot of people are more focused on what's about to happen with Collision and what's been happening these last few weeks actually on Dynamite and Rampage. So I feel like that had more to do with it than them just simply killing the market. I think
And then
people just
Punk is
aren't
coming back.
invested in what's going on, and you know that's what happened on the show tonight. I mean, you got a full crowd, but nobody's reacting to anything. So it's like, well, so what, you know?
And especially, like you said, they focus more on Collision and stuff. Yeah, they probably focus if CM Punk is coming back too. So that's been like a focal point and whatnot. Like that's what a lot of people have been more excited for and stuff. Because listen, I get they sold out a lot of
Well, I
tickets.
won't say that either, because when they said when Tony Khan gave the announcement on Wednesday, half the crowd was cheering CM Punk and half the crowd
Yep,
was booing.
yep.
So it's kind of like, I don't even know if that's it either. But
It's been a 50-50 thing on that too, because we've already seen enough of, the CM Punk. Like some people feel like the whole war online has been more interested in the show at the time. Like people want to know, oh, what's Punk gonna say? What's this person gonna say? It's been like a whole multi-level war of back and forth words. If it ain't Punk, or if it's Tony, or if it's Chris Jericho, or if it's the Elite, or if it's Meltzer and Alvarez that keep talking. Like it's been some back and forth talking thing, which you wonder like, where is it is going? It's just people arguing on the internet.
yeah, you know me, I don't care about none of that. Either show up on my TV or don't, bro.
Yeah, because is he coming to that? Like that's the real question. Like enough of all these back and forth stories or who's lying on who or so like that's what we really seen because people have already been exposed. Like well, Meltzer and Alvarez, they the ones that been lying on Punk this whole time, and now they want to try to cop out and try to think it's all cool when it's not cool anymore. And Punk has called them on their shit. He's called them out on it. So
Yeah, either show up on my TV or don't. That's all I gotta say
go
about
my
it, bro.
TV adult, but like I will say this, like my overall thought of this whole show, like you said, like until it got to the TBS title, I feel like that's when the crowd really woke up. And it's like you said, it was like a 2-match show, honestly, because the crowd was very dead through a lot of this. And listen, I seen a couple photos of what it looked like out there in the crowd. There were a lot of empty seats. I know they got to put everybody mostly in the hard cam area, so it looked, so it looked like it was a full building, but it really wasn't. But you could really can sit there and say this was a 2-match show. Like everything else on here, just I don't know. Like I said before, my thing, a lot of these matches were all stipulations, and the theme of tonight's show was run in interference. Like damn near every match had a run in or interference involved in this whole
Mm-hmm.
show. And listen, I like the Fatal 4-Way. I thought the Fatal 4-Way was pretty good. Don't get me wrong, the build was really bad, but it was still an overall good match. The main event itself, like I said, you either go like it or you go hate it. And you've already heard my criticisms of this match. So I'm like on that 50-50, 60-40 type of thing for the main event. And again, I'll say this. I'm not surprised the Blackpool Combat Club won. Yeah, like I said, they got to look strong going into Dominion also. So they got to make sure Mox and Claudio look strong for New Japan next week. So they have to make sure of that. Everything else, though, about this show, the Battle Royale was just a Battle Royale. That's all I can really say. You already know how I feel about the whole Cassidy thing. The tag titles, I feel like it's like I said, until that last 5 minutes of the, match was going on with all the overbooking, that's when it was getting more interesting. Like I said, the unsanctioned match, I feel like the unsanctioned match probably been the worst thing on the show when you think about it. Like,
In terms of expectation, probably.
yeah, maybe an expectation. Yeah, you expect this to be brutal, and this was not it. And the crowd didn't care. They didn't care. Like I said, the women's title match, as short as it was, we've already said about all the run-ins, but I guess Jamie Hayter is still legitimately hurt, so that's why they went with what they went, even though it was
Yeah, I
just
think that was the worst thing on the show, honestly.
especially with all the run-ins and just everybody going back and forth. Like I said, this match was literally 3 minutes, but like I said, Paige and crew just beating up Toni, and then we don't even see Sheeta and Baker till later on. Like, why didn't y'all come out and help at the get-go? And Baker, we saw you earlier in the night, so what's up with that? Christian and Wardlow, it didn't need to be a ladder match. Some good spots here and there, but this was still brutal, and you wonder, like, why was this even a ladder match to begin with? Okay, I'm trying to see. Like I said, this is overall of 10 matches on this show. So, like I said, it was a lot. The House of Black acclaim. It was what it was. Should have just stayed on TV. Um, yeah, I think that's most of all I've said. Like, what you think?
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Because normally when we do these reviews for AEW shows, it's like, well, the build was trash, but everybody wrestled like crazy, so the show was good, but the build was trash. So then I had to give it like a 6.5, 7 range. But on this show, I thought the build for a lot of this stuff was actually pretty good, but I didn't like a lot of what I watched. Plus, the crowd was dead, so that made me less interested in what I was watching. And I can't even say the latter half of this show saved this show because the first half of the show I didn't think was very good at all. So it's like I'm just gonna go middle of the road with it, man. I'll give it a straight C minus
I agree.
5 out of 10. You know, like
Agreed.
straight right down the middle.
Because even I've had people come and tell me they thought either Night of Champions or even NXT was a better show. Like I've already
Well,
had
I
people
told you at the beginning,
or
my
Under
favorite show
Siege.
this
Yeah,
weekend was Under Siege. Yeah.
yeah. Like, and here's the thing: AEW had somewhat decent build going into this, but you know, like like I said, it was decent, that good, but fans was just not going along with this. And I know AEW's got a lot of other stuff built, other shows trying to go in, like All In. You got the Forbidden Door coming up next. You got Collision in like the next few weeks. So
You know, that might be the problem, man. They're trying to do too much at once because, like, everybody was so geeked about the all in stuff, but it's like, well, Double or Nothing ain't selling no tickets though. Like,
like, why are they
maybe they
selling
just got too much going on, man.
Yeah, like they had low ticket sales. And then again, like we already said earlier, like you felt like this was just like the WWE casual, bring your family to the show and let's not really pay attention and look at our phones throughout half the night until something interesting happens.
Pretty much. That's how it came
That's
across, at least.
like that's how it felt. So I didn't think this was really that good of a show. It really wasn't until like I said, to the part where things start picking up. But overall of this, like I just did not like. It just wasn't good. The crowd was dead, and like I said before, the theme of tonight's show was run-ins and interferences, like in damn near every match or it was a stipulation. Shit, I thought Vince Russo was probably booking this tonight, damn near on some of this stuff. But
Yeah, this is like an Extreme Rules or something. Like,
Extreme Rules, like running, running, overbooking, overbooking, overbooking. Like I'm like, what? Why? Like some of this made zero sense. So I don't think this just wasn't good. This was not really that good of a show. It wasn't. And
yeah, I
I'm
wasn't
agree,
feeling a
and
lot of it.
I agree with your grade average of a 5 or C minus. Like that's the farthest I go because until that TBS title thing happened, that's when stuff started picking up, and that's when the crowd actually start caring about this show again and whatnot. But before that, it just wasn't there. It just wasn't good, and like I said, you can take what you want out of the last excuse me 3 matches of the show. Like I already gave my opinion on it, but that's when it started picking up. So this just it wasn't it.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do on pay per view is bore me. And like, man, that the first half of the show, man, because the crowd didn't care. I'm just sitting there watching a 20-minute tag title match with no heat, just 20-minute unsanctioned match with no heat. I was just sitting here like, golly, it's in these matches, man.
Like,
Like,
where's the excitement? Like,
none, bro.
do something big. Like, do something like. And like I said, they're trying to hit all these big spots, especially in these unsanctioned hardcore matches, but they don't. The crowd didn't care. It's either that or they've seen it so many times. It's like they like what was the word you said? Desensitized. We
Yeah.
already know it. We know how this goes. Like we already know it. Like you say, it wasn't a good idea to have an unsanctioned match and an Anarchy rules match because it's basically the same damn match. And like I've already said, I know I'm kind of repeating myself as a broken record here, but yeah, why would you do a ref stoppage in an unsanctioned match? That makes no sense. And you got the Anarchy thing where the referee is already he's the first one bleeding throughout the damn match. That doesn't make any sense. And you got, like you said, exploding shoes and thumbtacks and leaf blowers. And it's like I already said, Outlaw Mud Show. So it tells you the big difference of both of those matches and who had the more brutal insanity hardcore match. And I'll say this about Danielson. I almost actually was kind of surprised Danielson was even in this match because did he get hurt last year from this?
Did he?
He did because he could competed for Forbidden Door against Zack Sabre Jr. did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I was actually.
Well, I guess they did a better job of protecting him this time.
Yeah, because I sat there wondering going into this, like, should he really be in this? Because like he got hurt from this last year. Why would he be back in this damn thing again? And he was probably like one of my favorite people in this damn match. Maybe I don't know, because it's just him, but him just kind of hitting the big running knee and doing the kicks and everybody chanting along yes and stuff. I don't know, that's what really kind of got it hyped up for me for some reason. Maybe because it's him, I'm not sure, but that's how I go with it. So like I said, overall, like I said, 5 out of 10, C minus. It is what it is. But this was, would you even say, would you say it was just like the lowest show out of the weekend?
In terms of what I watched, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch NXT, but I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed Under Siege, and I thought Night of Champions was alright, and a lot of this I just didn't like. So yeah.
Yeah, and even I had to go back away. Like people say NXT was really that good. I was reading comments saying like NXT killed it. NXT like they were better than Double or Nothing, and that's coming from a developmental show. So like that literally tells you something right there. Because even I had to go back and watch it. I'm like, this is actually not a bad show, and it was actually really good. So, and the crowd was hyped, and like I said, they weren't at Full Sail. They were in a big building. So like that's gotta tell you something. So it makes you think about that. But other than that though, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. You got anything to plug?
Yeah, I started a business on Instagram. I mean, I've been doing it. I've been freelancing for like 5 years, graphic design, but now I got an actual like page you can follow and stuff. So Shaggy Graphics on Instagram, Shaggy Graphics on Facebook. That's Shaggy with an X, no A. And yeah, man, I mean, I'm trying to branch out and not be employed by other people anymore. So
Trust me, I'm trying myself, so it ain't easy, but doing my best.
yes, sir. I already know.
Definitely agreed. Also, I know he's not here, but I want to thank Kyle for also coming on. I know he had to take care of some stuff, so I know he had to, go early and everything. So just to thank him also for being on the show today too. But other than that, we out of here, and whatever the next show, that's the next big thing. I don't know what the next big pay-per-view is for whoever, but we'll see what happens. Money in the Bank. Maybe Forbidden Door.
I think Money in the Bank is Forbidden Door.
Because I think Forbidden Door is in June and Money in the Bank is on July 1st.
Oh, word? Oh, okay.
So yeah, maybe that one will be next then. So whatever the next big show is, definitely be on for that. But other than that, out of here. See y'all then. Peace out.